right, guys, welcome back. We are trying to we're out here trying to do some tuning, and I can't tell you whether or not this is going to be successful or not. Main roads are super crowded. I got to get a second, third, fourth gear pull out of this, so you know, I really don't know how well I'm going to be able to do this and not have a problem, but we'll give it a shot and see what happens. I got to be up about 40 miles an hour to do this, so I have no idea if I'm going to be able to let this thing shift itself and actually get enough speed out of it to let it shift itself, but we'll see. It is packed out here. There's going to be no way. Yeah. I do make a lot of dumb faces. Holy... Sorry about that. I gotta bleep that out. Holy doo-doo. But, yeah. I gotta figure out some better way to do this because I'm going too fast to get into it, to go wide open throttle and let it shift. Okay, so what we're gonna end up doing is coming back on here, and I think what I'm gonna loop around, come back up, and then I'm gonna try to get into it again and stay in second gear. I cannot guarantee that I will be successful doing this, but we will give it a whirl. Ooh, that thing moved. Sorry about that. That's a really terrible camera angle, but it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Don't really have a good windshield to do this with. How are we doing on intake air temperature? 90. It's not terrible. Not great either. Get that up. And you guys are right. I do make stupid faces when I'm in, especially when I'm in this car and I'm moving fast. I make very dumb faces. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get away with this. There's nobody behind me, so let's get this going. All right. Okay, she's on. Now what I want to do is, oh man. Okay, there it was. Woo! I am friggin' flying. All right. Woo! Got a little duty on myself there. This thing is like, I forgot to pull the fuses out. So this thing's like, oh, what are you doing, Dave? Let me start slamming the brakes on you. All right, well, I think that's probably enough for what I need. I'll probably try to do one more pull. Not sure where I'm gonna do it. Okay, so I'm home and I got my co-pilot here. What are you looking at? You're supposed to say not much and diss me. Where are you going?
Hi.
Hi. Hi. Who's that?
It's me, Ben.
Okay, cool. All right, guys. So I got this set up on my bigger monitor. It's just hooked into my laptop. Make it a little bit easier for folks to see. I apologize for a little bit of a wonky view here because of the curved screen and widescreen on the camera. But it at least tries to capture as much of the screen as possible so you guys can actually consume it. So this kind of shows overall what we're looking at. I'm going to go through a couple different things: the shifting, traction, all that good stuff, boost pressure, IATs, knock, and just a little bit about fuel pressure, just kind of show you what's doing here. But if you can see, here's my cursor. It's highlighting a bunch of stuff. We're just going down here. This shows the ramp up. So I'm pulling onto the on-ramp right here, and then shift 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and then I let out of it. And this was right about when traffic pulled in front of me. We go back and take a look at the actual event. And then, okay, so now, now you have that fresh in your head. This will kind of give you an idea of how things are unfolding. So I'm going to start, I like to do it at 0.2x just so you can kind of consume what's going on here. And I'm pulling onto the on-ramp, and I like to start with like spark retard. I always like to look at that, especially when I'm doing that third gear pull. It'll tell you a lot about what's going on. So you can see I'm kind of getting on the ramp right now. I'm in second gear, and it's starting to ramp up. And we slide down. You can see when I stab the throttle. And this is interesting here because I think I stabbed the throttle. But, okay, so here you go. See, boom. We're going down. We're going down. We're going down. We're at wide open throttle. Cylinder air mass 1.36. This is as much as I got on this table. And, we're cooking. We went through the second to third gear shift. Now we're going up. We're ramping up. We lose some traction right here. And now we're going back up to the top of third gear into the fourth gear shift. And you should see a drop. And there you go. We drop back down. And this whole time, interesting thing, and this is why I let out of it. The interesting thing here is to watch is I'm just going to bring it back here. I think, like, here's commanded TPS. I got it commanded at what I thought was, see, this is about 100% right here. But actual TPS is down around 71%. So the thing is definitely fighting for traction throughout this. So if you want to just highlight, like, look in right where my cursor is right here, and we'll drag it down a little bit here to straighten this out. We can kind of see, and before I do that, actually, let's go back. I want to point something out. This is something really cool that Derek does. He has some really, really nice, and let me just stop this real quick, so that there's not a lot going on. But I'll show you in a particular. Oh, you know what? What we'll do is we'll let it run through it, and I want to show you some of the things that are going on here. So we're in second gear. This shows you RPM, manifold pressure, but he also peels out boost pressure as well. Cylinder air mass tells you your IATs, whether or not we're getting any knock, alcohol content of the ethanol that's in the system. So I'm looking almost at E85 here. Mat pressure, but then that obviously coordinates the boost pressure over here. Shows short-term, fuel trims. See what it's pulling out. Literally nothing going on here, which is great. And shows the injector duty cycle, which is even more interesting. So let's go back here. So I got ID 850s in this thing. And let's just watch. It's ramping up, ramping up, ramping up, ramping up. Third gear is where you're going to probably see the most load on the injector. But see how it's ramping up? And whammo. It's coming now. It's in third gear. 56, 8, 9, 7. Okay, here we go. Top of third gear. Still going. 74%, 75, 76. I never get to 80% duty cycle. So, like, it's interesting. A lot of folks. Oh, there we go. There we go. We were at 84 right there during the shift. 84 during the shift. So it's interesting because a lot of folks claim that they need, like, the 10. What was it? The 1050 or 1080 injectors, whatever. I got 850s, ID 850s, and a little cool thing. This is interesting. And let me see if I can find it. And I don't know how 100% accurate this is. But as you're ramping up and you look right around, look at this number right here, trans engine torque. So it's what it's seeing from the engine. I believe that is the proper metric, and I'm not 100% sure if that is entirely right, but 885 foot-pounds of torque. So if that's anywhere close to that, I'm damn happy with what that's doing. So the 2, 3, and 4 shift, it appears okay. I got to talk, like, I'll have to see what Derek sends me back. But, going through this, just kind of watching it, and I'm going to be sliding it back and going through it a few times here just to point things out. Boost pressure here, we're starting to ramp into it. Let's just watch boost pressure real quick. Okay, we're getting going, we're getting going. Okay, now we're getting into positive boost. We're rocking and rolling. We're up 6, 7 pounds. Still going. Okay, now we're around 10 pounds. We're going up through third gear, 12, 12 and a half, 13, 13 and a half or so. Does not look like I ever hit 14 pounds of boost. Now, that has a lot to do with the fact that I got the Boostmaster cam, so I got a better cam in there. If I didn't have it, I'd probably be a lot closer to, like, 15 pounds in there. Plus, I wasn't doing just a pure third gear heavy load pull. So, yeah, boost isn't crazy on this. Injector duty cycle isn't bad. Fuel pressure remains stable. That's another one I like to look at. And this is, I'm going to speed this back up to, 1x. But as we're going up through the pool, if you just watch fuel pressure, this is the result of the DSX aux pump. It commands a certain amount. It held it very closely. So I'm just going to back it up again. Commanded 86 PSI. I'm at 70. So that was plenty for what I'm doing. The duty cycle never got out of control. Let's look at commanded lambda versus the... so we're going to be looking somewhere in this area here for it. So commanded 0.83. That's about like a 12.2, 12.3 for your guys who are doing normal. Let me slow this down again. It's a little bit hard to consume when it's moving that fast. So equivalence ratio, EQ, lambda. I'm one of those guys who does the air fuel ratio like 14.7 to 1, then anything off of that. So, usually something like this, you're looking at 12 to 1. So if this is 0.8, I'm going to just do a little bit of math for you. So 14.7 times 0.8 is somewhere, it's at 11.7, 11.75, 11.76 equivalent. So it's obviously richer for ethanol. But if you look through there, so it's the equivalence ratio here, and then you take a look around here, there's no KR through the pool. Ethanol content stays above 80% the entire time. I got some good E around here. No air temperature retard either, which is great. There's no, it's not pulling anything. IITs are only 88, 90. It was a beautiful day yesterday. Even with that smaller heat exchanger, I think the only problem I'm going to really have is when I'm doing autocross stuff. So I got to think about what I really want to do there, and I'll talk to Derek about it. But, I'm not terribly upset about what I'm seeing here. It's pulling through. You can see it's really not, there's no issue. Yeah, see, IAT, it's getting a little warm, but it's, 120. It's really not that bad. So especially if I have ice in the tank, I think we're going to probably be okay with this for a while. So I'm going to leave the current heat exchanger I have in there and probably just, go with it there. So one of the things I mentioned, that boost pressure, anything, no knock retard. So I think I covered everything I wanted to. And you can see the only thing that's a little hard, and I don't know if I can easily distinguish this. Okay, so you can see I have everything turned off. I want to see something here. So there's no real traction control, anything going on. By the way, when you turn everything off, there's still a little traction control, because I mentioned it when I'm driving. Yeah, if you don't take the fuses out, and I can point them out later on, you can see as we're starting to come off, the tires are spinning a little bit. Let's see. Does it get any worse? As I start pulling 2.3%. Desired torque, it's off. Yeah, see, so I'm spinning a little bit. And let's see, as I pull up through this, there should be a bump in there where she spins, a decent amount. I don't know if that's detectable in RPM or not. Yeah, see, so let me see. Let me pull this down, see if I can see it in engine RPM. Moving through there. There should be like a weird... Interesting. Okay, there's the shift. Here's where okay, there it is. Right here. You can see I get it. I'm having some traction issues. This is where I'm having the traction issues. There's no really, unfortunately, a good way to show that, unfortunately, which is a little frustrating because, but you can see this is where it was bouncing a little, and I get like a little weirdness there. Let me go back. I got to go back a little bit, drag this whole thing back. So we're going up, going up, going up. Oil pressure looks good. Ramping up. Let's see here. I got to see what I'm seeing on the screen. See if it's not that great, unfortunately. Let me carry it over to here. All right, so you can kind of see what's doing over here, and as it starts moving, I want to move this whole thing over so we can see it a little bit better. All right, and you can see right there is where it starts to bounce on the highway, and I start to get a little bit of a traction issue there. But overall, pretty darn happy with this. Maybe not as bad as I originally thought it was going to be, other than the RPM. So we're going to send this over to Derek. We'll see what he comes back with, and I'll let you guys know. All right, guys, actually, I just heard back from Derek. It looks like I got the green light. I guess I thought it was a lot worse than it really was, but he said everything looks good other than traction, which we knew about, so that's a good sign. So I am just waiting to hear back from him to see if he needs any more data, but I think we're looking pretty good for the first week of March to go out and hit the track. So I guess that's that. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.